There was one time a guy that wanted to start a shiur Torah in his house. So he sent out a message in the community that he's going to teach Pirkei Avot, the teachings, ethical teachings of our sages. They do it on such and such date, at such and such time, and hopefully a lot of people show up, and we could make a series out of it every week. He prepared the house, made sure the kids went to sleep, make sure the wife agreed, got a bunch of snacks for people to munch on, because if there's no food, people don't come. You ask them, oh, we're having a shiur Torah, what do you have to eat? It's not a restaurant. Oh, no food? Okay, bli neder, I'll come. Bli neder. Oh, no, today there's shawarma. Okay, what time is it at? Hey, can I come a little early? I'm hungry. Listen, last week you had shawarma. You think maybe you can make sushi this week? So the guy prepared some snacks, prepared the books, prepared himself. 9 o'clock comes. Nobody. 9:05, zero. 9:30, nothing. By 10 o'clock, still nobody. Gave up, called it the night. The plan failed. The next week, he said, you know what? Let me try something else. He advertised teachings of Sun Tzu. The art of beating life. The art of war. The art of whatever. The secret of the stars and how to manage your life by seeing all types of wisdoms from all worlds. We'll also serve sushi. To his surprise, 9 o'clock, packed house. He doesn't care. Starts teaching. Sun Tzu said, tu. And Mitsu said, pa. San and Sin and Bin also said, tu. Everybody said, wow, genius. Genius. Wow. I wish you, where were you my whole life? Can you do this again? Every week? Wow, really? For free? With sushi? Shtabach Shimo. Wow, what amazing. I love this community. Finally, somebody's doing something for the people. Every week, 9 o'clock, packed house. Sun Tzu and Mitsu teach you X, Y, Z, and A, B, C, and the secret of this and the secret of that, and how to overcome this and how to overcome that. Shortly later, somewhere around 9 or 10 months later, he says, Rabotai, today is the last section. Today is the last section. After this, we're going to learn the Chumash. What's that? Is that by Sun or by Sin? No. It's by God. Ah. Really? Why? I really like this Asian mystical teachings. Like, I'm not really sure I can make it. Well, before you decide whether you can make it or not, I want to let you know, today is the last page. And I wanted to tell you guys that I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. You see, I'm sorry I lied to you a little bit. But I'm not sorry that I lied, because it was for your interest. You see, when I advertised that I want to teach the teachings of our Jewish sages with sushi, no one showed up. But the second I changed Jewish sages to Sun and Sin and Tzu, all of you wonderful people showed up. Yeah, because it's much more interesting. Well, before you say that, let me finish. You see, because I knew you thought that, and you have this stigma that you learned your whole life that sun and sin and tzu were much more interesting than Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Shimon, I did you a favor. Every time it said rabbi, I said son. And the entire 9 months that we've been together, learning sun and sun and tzu, it was really the very same Pirkei Avot that I wanted to teach you originally. We just changed the names, but the teachings are the same exact teachings of our sages. You just said you liked it. In fact, you said it changed your life. Now I'm telling you, let's go learn about their God too. You see, sometimes, Rabotai Yekarim, we have these stigmas that the Torah is not interesting and not relevant even though we know nothing about it. I have countless young people and older people asking me about different wisdoms. I tell them, listen, you can find this in the Gemara, you can find this in the Chumash, you should buy this book, you should watch this video. Many times people listen, but once in a while you get a tough nut. What's a tough nut? Someone that simply refuses to listen. So you give them, they ask you a question, you give them an answer, and say, all right, thanks, Rabbi. And they come back to you with the same exact question in a different format. But then they throw you a curveball. What do they say? Rabbi, listen, do you think I can find wisdom in Christianity? Rabbi, do you think there is wisdom that I can find if I read the Quran of the Muslims? Rabbi, what do you think about Buddhism, really? Don't you think it has some good stuff in there? Maybe I could check it out? What about the teachings of the Hindus? You know, those ones that, use the urine to clean their house and to purify it. They must do it for a reason, Rabbi. What about the Torah that I've been telling you to learn for the last several months? You've been texting me at 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, I haven't got to that yet, but because I'm really into this Quran first. I'm really into this New Testament first. I'm really into this Buddhism. I'm really into, but you haven't checked your own heritage yet. You haven't checked your own instruction from God yet, but yet you are driven to look into something else. Why so disinterested? Answer is, to learn Buddhism, Islam, Christianity, or any other form of idolatry has no Yetzirah. In fact, the Yetzirah will encourage you to do it, and do it well. In fact, why don't you become a scholar in Islamic teachings of the 14th century? But what about Torah? Mr. Moshe? Mr. Yitzchak? What about the Torah from 3,000 years ago? I didn't get to that yet. Why? The Yetzirah keeps telling me, go somewhere else. And sometimes the Yetzirah comes as your best friend, as your parents, as your teachers, as people that are around you. You made a bad choice of friends. You're in an unfortunate circumstance. You are one of the prisoners in that dark cave, and they all are like-minded like you, living in darkness, thinking that that light they call the Torah, it's not possible, it's just some fairy tale. Let us check something else out. Now, guess what, Rabotai? Without the hand of Hashem himself, those people will never come out of the cave. They'll stay in darkness. They'll become scholars in every foreign and forbidden teachings known to man. It's no surprise that some of the worst things on planet Earth were actually created by Jews that went against Hashem. One perfect example is communism. Karl Marx was a Jew, a Rasha, a real Rasha. But he's the one that had the manifesto. Lenin, that followed him, made it much bigger, much more violent. A Jew. These people literally destroyed societies, but not because they followed the Torah. Chas v'shalom. Because they didn't. Instead of following the Torah, they followed the Yetzer Hara. They followed the stigma, the stereotype, that the Torah cannot bring any light to this world. We need to check something else out. Let us check Kabbalah Center. Let us check Hinduism. Let us check Yoda and yoga and whatever you want. Let us become experts in Star Wars. Let us do everything but Torah. Now, why do I tell you all of this? Because as you can see, these are all people living in darkness. This is the vast majority of Am Yisrael today. And only in the hand of Hashem can rescue them. Or you. You that saw that little light and through your own suffering overcame the battle to see the light clearly, have a choice to make. Do you just completely abandon all of them? Take care of your own tuchas? Enjoy the light for yourself? Hopefully somebody else saves them. See you in the corner. See you in the end. See you around, or maybe not. Or do you go back into the cave? Drop off a CD and say, watch this. When you do that, you now become the hand of Hashem. Hence the reason of why the reward is so big.